Hello, class 10th students. Greetings of the day. Today we are going to take the second lecture of our Civics first chapter, which is the Union Parliament. In last video, we have discussed about the president. We know that president is the constitutional head of our country. He is also called the golden zero, or you can say he's uh, also the chief or supreme commander of the defense forces, whether it is air force or navy or army. So we also discussed about a new position which has been created recently, and that is CDS, Chief of Defense Staff. So now all these three forces, that is Air Force, Navy, and Army, are being headed by the Chief of Defense Staff. Okay, and the President of India is Supreme Commander of all these three forces. Now we are going to study about the Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha, it is lower house or the house of people. Its members are elected directly by people. We call it Lok Sabha or lower house or house of the people, and its term is for 5 years. It can be dissolved before expiry of its normal term by president on recommendation of PM. So whenever Prime Minister of India recommends president to dissolve Lok Sabha, then it can be dissolved, right? Like suppose if 4.5 years have been passed, okay, and the government thinks that if they conduct election right then they can win once again, or that timing or that time is suitable for them to get re-elected. So at the time, Prime Minister can advise President to conduct elections and dissolve this uh, Lok Sabha. Then Lok Sabha will be dissolved and the elections will be conducted. Then during emergency, maximum 1 year extension at a time. So if emergency is imposed, right, then what will happen during emergency? The tenure of Lok Sabha can be increased by 1 year at a time. Okay, and so if suppose after 1 year, if emergency is coming to an end, then after that within 6 months re-elections should be held. Okay, elections should be held. Now composition, there are 552 seats in Lok Sabha, out of which 530 states means 530 members to Lok Sabha should be elected from states, and 20 members from union territories like Daman and Diu, Lakshadweep, Andaman Nicobar. Okay, and two members should represent Anglo-Indian community. Now this one point, okay, this one point, it has in January 2020 it has been removed. Okay, with by an amendment, 104th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2019, right? The provision of reserving 2 seats, nominating Anglo-Indians on 2 seats, okay, nomination of Anglo-Indians on 2 seats by president, this has been removed. Okay, this has been scrapped off, right? It was done in January 2020, and it is done under the 104th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2019. So right now we can say that this is not included, it has been removed. So only 530 plus 20, 550 seats are, you can say, there. Then after that we will study about qualification, qualification of members of Lok Sabha. To be qualified in order to get elected to be member of Lok Sabha, one person should be, Indian citizen, and he or she should be above 25 years of age, and he or she should not be an insolvent, undischarged insolvent. Undischarged insolvent means he should not. Insolvent means a person who is having debts. DEBT. Debts means karza, right? So if a person is having debts of Indian government, right, then if he is unable to pay those debts and neither he is having that much property which can be confiscated uh, discharge his insolvency, right, and nor he is not having that much property either, right, then what will happen? That he will be called undischarged insolvent, means a person who is unable to pay his debts. So that person is also not eligible to contest election. Then no no office of profit. Okay, if you want to get elected to be the member of Lok Sabha, then you should not be holding any office of profit, means you should not be earning money by any means from the Indian government. Okay, you should not be doing a job. Okay, you should not be holding a post. Then should not be proclaimed criminal. You should not be a proclaimed declared criminal also. Then should not be of unsound mind. You should not be of, means you should be of sound mind. Sound mind means you should not be a mad person. Okay, or you can say mentally disturbed person, right? So these are the qualifications. Now what are the disqualifications of membership? These all qualifications are given in Article 84 of Indian Constitution. Then disqualification of membership: if he holds any office of profit. If you are having any office of profit means if you are working somewhere in Indian government, okay, then uh, you will not be qualified, right? You will be disqualified from being a candidate of Lok Sabha, member of Lok Sabha. If he is of unsound mind, means you are mentally disturbed. If he is undischarged insolvent, if you are unable to pay your debts. If he has voluntarily acquired citizenship of a foreign state, if you have voluntarily acquired citizenship of Iran or citizenship of Turkey or citizenship of America or citizenship of China, whichever country you want to acquire, okay, or if you uh, formally declare your allegiance towards a country, okay, that you have more faith or allegiance in USA than India, then also you will not be able to contest election, okay, and you will be disqualified from the membership of Lok Sabha, right? Now, how the seats of Lok Sabha can be vacated? How the vacation of seats takes place? If member resigns his seat by writing to the speaker or the chairman of the Lok Sabha, as the case may be, means if you want to resign from membership of Lok Sabha, like suppose if I am MP, member of Parliament, member of Lok Sabha, right? If Shafiqur Rahman Baksh Sahab is, suppose Shafiqur Rahman Baksh Sahab, not suppose he is MP of uh, right now, okay, he is member of Lok Sabha, and if he want to resign from his post, then how will he resign? He will write his resignation letter to speaker of Lok Sabha, and in the absence of speaker of Lok Sabha, the person who is presiding over the meeting of Lok Sabha, right, who is called chairman, okay, to that person or to that chairman, he will give his resignation. Then if a member is without permission of the house remain absent from all meetings for a period of 60 days, okay, like suppose if the session of Lok Sabha was going on, right, and if Shafiqur Rahman Baksh Sahab remained absent, okay, for 60 working days, right, then uh, he will be removed from his seat, okay. But in this we will not include the days, okay, for which the Parliament was not in session for more than 4 days, okay, continuously. Suppose if uh, the meeting was held at 1st of January, okay, and then later on it was again, session was called again on 8th of January. Okay, so these days are 8 days, more than 4 days. Okay, so these will not be taken into account while counting these 60 days. Okay, but if suppose the meeting was called on 1st of January, right, and then uh, second, third was holiday, and on fourth it was again reassembled, or again they were meeting together, right? Then what happened? Then these 2 days, okay, for which the session was adjourned or was not uh, going on, those 2 days will also be calculated. Okay, so I hope that you must have understood. Means if the time period, if the holidays, number of holidays are more than 4, then we are not going to take that into account. If less than 4, then we will take into account. Then if a member is disqualified on the ground of defection under anti-defection law, right? Suppose if I am elected, okay, uh, I was elected as member of Lok Sabha from Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP. Okay. Then after becoming MP, if I, I didn't support my party while putting some motion on vote, or if I voted against my party, right? Or I lost my allegiance towards the party, right? Or I am changing my party, I am going into some other party. Okay. Then what will happen? It will be called defection, right? And as an anti-defection law, my membership will be disqualified from Lok Sabha, right? This is called anti-defection law. Means to stop the defection, anti-defection law is there. Then, if a person is already a member of state legislature (MLA) and is elected to the parliament, he has to vacate his either of the seat. Okay. Suppose a person is an member of legislative assembly MLA, right? Suppose Nawab Iqbal Sahab, right? He is MLA from Sambal, getting or not? If he is elected as an MP, right, or member of Lok Sabha, then what will happen? He will have to resign from his MLA ship, okay, and then he will be able to be the member of Lok Sabha. Clear? And if he wants to be the member of Legislative Assembly of UP only, then what will happen? He will resign the membership of from the membership of Lok Sabha. Means he will have to resign from either of the post. Then parliamentary procedures means these are the ways to carry out the functioning of the parliament, how the functioning or how the motions, how the functioning is carried out, and how the motions are put forward and voted upon, right? Now parliamentary procedures, the formalities which the legislatures have to observe in the parliament as well as in state legislatures are called parliamentary procedures. Means these are the formalities, right, which the legislators, means the members of Lok Sabha, right, or the members of Rajya Sabha, or members of either of any assembly of state, okay, means the formalities which the legislators have to observe in the parliament as well as in the state legislature are called parliamentary procedure. Okay. Then what are these parliamentary procedures? See, in this we will study about the sessions, okay, about the quorum, and about the question hour, right, about the 0 hour, and right, about various motions also. Now sessions, what is session? The president, so yes, sorry. Now sessions, the president calls or summons each of the house of parliament called sessions. Okay, means the meeting of parliament is called session, right? The time period for which the parliament meet, right, or the members of parliament meet with each other in parliament, that is called session. They carry out their functioning, right? Each house shall meet at least twice a year, and the interval between two consecutive sessions shall be less than 6 months. Okay, so means in according to our constitution, the Parliament should meet with the members of Parliament should meet, right, at least twice a year, and the duration for that should be the interval should be, you can say, but interval between two consecutive sessions shall be less than 6 months, right? So generally in India we are having three sessions. First is budget session, second is monsoon session, and third is winter session. So it means that the interval between the two sessions is less than even you can say 4 months or 5 months, right? So according to this it should be less than 6 months, right? So we are organizing three sessions, so it means it will be less than 6 months only. Now what is budget session? It starts from Feb to May. Monsoon session July to August. Winter session November to December. Okay, these are the three sessions, you have to remember the names. Then quorum. What is the quorum? The minimum number of members required to be present in order to enable the house to transact its business is called quorum. Means in order to do the work, right, while when the parliament is in session, right, it is the minimum number of members, okay, required to uh, required to be present in parliament, right, or in either of the house, in order to enable the house to transact its business, right? Transact its business means to do its work, right? Like doing discussion over some bill, right, or discussing a motion and then finally putting that motion onto the vote, right, or anything, right? Then it is 1/10 of total membership of house. Now how many members should be present in order to uh, carry out the functioning of parliament? How many members should be present in each of the house? So it is 1/10 of the total membership of the house. Suppose if there are 545 members of Lok Sabha, right, then 1/10 of that will be 54.5. It means minimum 55 members should be present in Lok Sabha in order to carry out its function, right? Or in order to do any business, okay, there. Getting or not, whether it is passing a bill, right, or deliberation over some motions, okay, anything. Then this is quorum is clear. Now question hour. What is question hour? Right, on every working day the first hour is normally reserved for the question of the opposition to the government. This hour, which usually starts at 11 a.m., is known as question hour, right? So this question hour is generally from 11 a.m. to uh, eh, uh, 12 p.m., right, and from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. it is 0 hour, right? In question hour the opposition party asks questions from the government, okay. They ask different types of questions. And which are the types of questions? All questions are addressed to the chair means to speaker or whoever is sitting on the chair of speaker, okay. And if admitted, the government is obliged to answer them, right? If one person is addressing questions, one person is questioning, right, and if his questions is admitted, then the government will have to answer that question. Now what is the way of asking question in question hours, right, and how many types of questions are there? So basically there are three types of questions: start questions, unstart questions, and short notice questions. Start questions are the questions, okay, which are having asterisk mark on it, and these questions are supposed to be answered orally, okay, not in written form, right? And these are having asterisk marks. And when we ask these questions, so while having answers, okay, we may ask supplementary questions related to this question. Like suppose if I want to ask a question about triple talaq, okay, before the passing of triple talaq bill, right, then what will happen? I will have to give a notice, right, to the government before 10 days. that I want to ask this question in relation to the triple talaq. Okay, if they then what will happen after that? If my question, if my uh, if that thing is accepted by a speaker, then what will happen when whenever there will be working of Lok Sabha will take place, then what will happen? That minister or the ministry who is responsible for making that law or government will have to answer me that question. Okay, they will be answering it, and they will be answering not in written form but in oral form. And when they will answer in oral form, then what will happen? I may ask supplementary questions also related to this that topic. Okay, then after that we are having unstarred questions. Unstarred questions, these are these do not have asterisk marks, and for this answer is supposed to be uh, given in written form. No supplementary questions may be asked, okay, when asking this type of questions. Now third type of question is short notice questions. It relate to the matter of urgent importance. Okay, suppose if there is a very important matter, right, maybe it is COVID-19 or anything matter, and I have to ask a question related to that. Okay, then I'll have to give the notice, asked with a notice shorter than 10 days. Okay, here minimum duration for giving notice was 10 days. Okay, and it is even shorter than the 10 days, right? It is up to minister question to accept or reject such type of questions. Okay, so it is not compulsory to be answered. If the minister whom I have asked question wants to give answer, then he may accept it, otherwise he will reject it. Okay, then what is interpellation? Interpellation, the right of members of parliament to ask questions from the government is called interpellation, right? It's basically a right of asking question from the government. Then 0 hour, the 0 hour refers to the period which begins at 12 o'clock soon after the question hour and continues till lunch break, which begins at 1 o'clock. During this hour, members raise all types of questions without any permission or prior notice. Okay, so in this hour, the members may raise questions randomly. Okay, without any prior notice or prior permission. Okay, unlike they needed a permission while asking question during question hour. Okay, but here in 0 hour, they can ask question without any prior notice or permission. Now, what is motion? A motion is basically a matter of urgent public interest that is sought to be discussed in the house is called motion, right? So what is a motion? So motion is sorry, it is a formal proposal made by a member stating that the house should take up some particular matter which is of public importance. So it is just a proposal, right? Motion is a formal proposal made by member. Member means any MP, either MP of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Okay, but some motions are passed in Lok Sabha only, not in Rajya Sabha, right? So a motion is a formal proposal made by a member stating that the house should take up some particular matter which is of public importance. Okay, so with the help of the motion, the members draw attention of the government to take suitable action on a particular matter, right? These are different types. Here I have written this substantive motion. Okay, so basically the motions are of three types. Okay, they fall under three principal categories, right? Just forget these things I am telling you, just listen that. The first type is substantive motion. Substantive motion I have written here. Okay, right? Substantive motion. Second type is substitute motion. Substitute motion I have not written, right? And third is subsidiary motion. Neither I have written subsidiary motion. Getting or not? So it means all the motions may fall under three categories: substantive motion, substitute motion, and subsidiary motion, right? So here what I have written these four motions: adjournment motion, no confidence motion, motion of impeachment, and motion of thanks, right? And I have also written this substantive motion, right? Although these all for motions may be either of the type, either it is substantive motion or substitute motion or subsidiary motion. Now, what is substantive motion? Substantive motion, it is a self-contained independent proposal dealing with a very important matter like impeachment of the president or removal of chief election commissioner. So what is substantive motion? Substantive motion is self-contained, means it doesn't require any other motion. Okay, motion, you can say favoring it or supporting it. Okay, so it does not require any other motion to support it. It is self-contained. Self-contained means self-dependent or independent proposal, right? And like the motion, suppose if you want to uh, call a motion for the impeachment of president, okay, so that motion will fall under which category? Under substantive motion, under the category of substantive motion. Although what you are doing, you are calling a motion for the impeachment of president, then which type of motion it will be? It will be substantive motion. Okay, then substitute motion. Substitute motion is a motion that is moved in substitution of an original motion and proposes an alternate to it. It adopted by the house. It supersedes the original motion. Now we just need to remember the names. Okay, we are not supposed to go into the detail, right? These will not be asked in the exams. Just you need to remember substitute motion, subsidiary motion, and substantive motion. Okay, but just give me a minute. Sorry. Right. Now, what is adjournment motion? Adjournment motion, it is an expression. It is an expression or proposal of majority opinion of the House to take up immediate issues, example daring, dacoity, natural calamity or railway accident other than scheduled matter issues or death of sitting or ex-member of house or too much disorder in the house. Now, what is adjournment motion? Adjournment motion means it is a motion to keep the normal functioning of parliament aside and to discuss a particular thing of importance, okay, or something which is calling our attention, or something which is some immediate issues, okay, which need our immediate attention. Okay, that type of things are discussed. Like suppose today is 17th of August, and if the session of parliament is going on, right, that is monsoon session is going on, right, and today we were supposed to discuss about the population bill, right, about the population bill, right, but what happened, somewhere in our country some accident took place, right, railway accident took place, right, or some kind of calamity took place, or maybe there may be a cyclone, right, which hit Odisha, Bengal, these areas, right, then what will happen? Then the parliamentarian may pass this adjournment motion, right? They may say that, okay, please keep this normal functioning or normal discussion of discussion for this population bill aside, right, and discuss this thing first. Discuss what? Discuss this natural calamity or the cyclone or any other thing, okay, railway accident, okay, discuss this thing first. So that type of motion is called adjournment motion. Now what is no confidence motion? A no confidence motion is a proposal expressing lack of confidence in the ministry. The House grants leave to move a no confidence motion only when it has the support of at least 50 members. The motion has to be taken up for discussion within 10 days from the day on which the leave is granted. On conclusion of the debate, the speaker puts the motion to vote. If the motion is passed, the government has to resign. Right? It can be originated and passed only in Lok Sabha. Now, what is no confidence motion? Confidence motion and no confidence motion. Confidence means it is a motion which is expressing your confidence, your belief in the government, okay, And no confidence motion, it is a motion which is expressing your disbelief in the government. Okay, when you are of the belief that government is unable to is unable to, is incompetent or not functioning well. Okay, then you may go against the government, right, and put forward a no confidence motion. And for passing a no confidence motion or for accepting the proposal of a no confidence motion, it should be supported at least by 50 members. Okay, like suppose we are in Lok Sabha right now. Okay, and session that monsoon session is going on. Okay, and I am the member of Lok Sabha, and I along with 50 other members, okay, 49 members including 50 members. Okay, if uh, we ask the Speaker of Lok Sabha, right, that we want to pass a no confidence motion against the government, right, then it will be accepted, right. And if uh, the motion, the if the speaker, right, speaker give us the leave, right? If speaker grant us the leave to present this no confidence motion, then what will happen from within 10 days of that, right? What will happen? The discussion over this no confidence motion will take place, and after discussion, what will happen? Voting will take place, right? If I, along with other members of Lok Sabha, is able to prove my majority, right? Then what will happen? Then the today's BJP government will have to resign, right? They will have to resign from the ministry, entire ministry, along with the prime minister will have to resign, right? But it will not happen. Why? Because I may belong to an opposition party, right? And opposition party, they do not have more numbers than the ruling party, and BJP is having, absolute numbers, or you can say more than the sufficient numbers, right? So we cannot pass the no confidence motion against them. Okay, either, although we can introduce it, okay, we may be able to we may be successful in introducing no confidence motion against them, but that will not be get passed. Why? Because we are not having numbers more than the BJP, right? Then motion of impeachment, it is a proposal or expression of majority opinion of the house to against the president, vice president, or speaker or judge and their removal. Okay, so what is motion of impeachment? If we want to remove president or vice president, okay, then this type of impeachment process takes place, and the motion in order to start impeachment, okay, is called motion of impeachment. Sorry. Now, motion of thanks, debate and approval of the president's address to the new parliament. Okay, what is motion of thanks? Motion of thanks is, you need to understand it. When general elections takes place, like suppose in 2019, right, election took place, Lok Sabha election, and the new government was formed. So when the government, or you can say Lok Sabha sittings take place for the first time after general elections, then President of India addressed that sitting. Okay, address Lok Sabha, right? So after his address, Lok Sabha is supposed to pass a thanks motion to president. Okay, right? President tells about what the president party, okay, which has won the election and has formed the government, will be doing, right? What are their plans? What the previous governments have done, and how this government will work, what they will work. After that, what will happen? After that, the government, or you can say all the members, are supposed to thank him. Okay, if the members are not thanking him by passing this thanks motion, then what will happen? It will be, you can say, it will show that the party, okay, which has won is not having, you can say, uh, higher numbers, okay, if it is not passed. Otherwise it will pass. So it is impossible to not to get passed. Okay, it will pass for sure if some government is formed, right? Then substantive motion, expression of majority opinion of the house on a particular matter, issue, etc. That I have already told you what was substantive motion. You just need to focus on motion of impeachment, motion of thanks, and especially no confidence motion. No confidence motion is very important. Adjournment motion and no confidence motion, you need to give more importance. Then after that we will study about the what is the difference between adjournment and prorogation. Adjournment of the house means suspension of sitting of the house by the speaker, right? Means suppose if the suppose monsoon session is going on and today is 17, okay, and I, the speaker of Lok Sabha, now I says that the work for day is over now, and now the Lok Sabha will meet again, not tomorrow but on 19, okay. So that is called adjournment, okay, right? And prorogation means termination of the session of parliament. If this prorogation means that okay, if president of India says that now the session is over, okay, monsoon session is over, now the all parliamentarians will meet in winter during winter session, okay, so that is called prorogation. Adjournment, this is the power of adjournment of the house rests with the speaker or chairman as the case may be. So who is responsible for adjourning the house? Speaker or the chairman, whereas who is responsible for proroguing the session or ending, bringing a session to the end, that is president, okay. So these were the things I have discussed with you people. In next lecture we will be studying about the speaker of Lok Sabha and its function. Thank you so much.